Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Amityville BOE Preschool District Special meeting. And the focus of our meeting tonight is to determine our district goals. I'm calling the meeting to order at now 6:04. Currently at the meeting is myself, President Lisa Johnson, Trustee Chris Neer, Trustee Caroline Bannon, Trustee Wendy Cadestro. It is anticipated that trustees First Vice President Megan Vestman, as well as First Vice President Carol Seahawk will be arriving hopefully shortly, and Leslie Kretz unfortunately will not be able to join us tonight. Also present is our Superintendent, Dr. Jim Talbot, our Assistant Superintendent for Construction, Mary Stevens, our Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Olivia Watson, our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources is Dr. Bridget Gray. So at this point in time, we're going to start our process for setting our district goals. This is a very different meeting. We're going to be talking, we'll be up, we'll be writing. If we're able to show you, we'll show you, but we'll also speak about what we're trying to accomplish with our district goals. So at the table, everyone has already received our current district goals that we have in place, as well as our district commission and belief statement. So I will share my thought process, and please, everyone, feel free to jump in. I'll just say, we work typically when we've done district goals and when we've done goals. We just, yeah, I know, we write the goals down, we keep talking about it, we erase it, we rip the paper up until we come up with a consensus of what we want that goal to do. I believe everyone has reviewed the webinar that I sent you. Yeah. And as well as the PowerPoint. PowerPoint was not as detailed from this, but I think the webinar was a lot more focused. But if you recall that the goal in setting district goals is that it should align. It should align with not only the superintendent goals, but if we have a strategic plan, but we don't have a strategic plan, it should all align from the district goals to the superintendent goals to the strategic plan. And so there should be an alignment. So Dr. Talbot has I asked her to bring her district goals that she has that we can present it to us back then, and we just kind of go from there. So we can, it's interesting, and please, this is I have no set format, so please jump in.
And also, yeah, so Lisa had gone to the New York School Board Association convention and was nice enough to send us the slideshow that was shared with her in the presentation. And I think Lisa, have you previously done this before, goals and stuff?
So the last time when I have done goals on previous times of doing on the school board, that we actually did it under when we were doing our policy, because there were only 2 board members there. And so we reviewed it with the superintendent and we brought it back to the entire board to look at the district goals. This is the first time I've done setting goals here in the school district, but I've set goals at work.
So my experience is I've done this in my other districts and it was very similar to this, but it's the whole board with central administration and it's collaborative. And even going through this, the mission is tied to this because there's even a slide where it's like the vision and the mission trickles down to the goals, the district goals, which then trickle down to the superintendent's goals, and then it's disseminated to the teachers and so forth. One of the things that I do want to bring up that we didn't do, which is a suggestion, and I think it's a really good suggestion that I think that we should be doing, which might delay this though, but I think it's an important piece to this is, they asked for feedback from stakeholders, internal stakeholders, which are, I have a slide here, the teachers, the administrators, the support staff, the employees, the board of ed, the students, the parents, etc. The external stakeholders are community members and business owners. And it's not a long survey. I mean, the survey is basically, what's your relationship with the school district? When you think of the school district, what are you most proud of? what do you think are the top issues and challenges facing the students today? And how can the school district better prepare students to be successful and responsible citizens? So I think, you know, they were, in the slide, they were discussing about sending out Survey Monkey or Google Doc or something. And I think it's really important, for us to be data driven, to see, you know, collaboratively what we're recognizing or what subgroups, how they feel, whether it's staff, whether it's parents, whether it's business owners, and then go from there to see key issues that are identified, and then how we can almost come up with maybe even a singular goal or based off of that, and move from there to have that feedback. That's something we haven't done that I would suggest that we do.
Right, so when I was at the presentation at NISBA, in terms of that particular slide, but just in general, one of the things that Mark had said that if as a school board that you have not set your district goals as of yet, then maybe the focus should be is to establish your district goals for the next year, because in order to do it effectively and efficiently, the steps like Winnie just mentioned in terms of doing the survey, it's gonna take a little bit of time. You do the survey, you send it out, 2 to 3 weeks, you get a response back, you brainstorm. So by the time you are done with doing that, it may be, just say hypothetically, let's say it may take a total of 4 weeks to do it. And now we're back, now we'll be in December, so we'll kind of September, October, actually July, August, September, October, November, and December. So now we're 6 months in. And now we're setting our goals. So one of the things he says that this was just his recommendation. He said, if you have not set the goal yet, and this is something that you want to do, he feels that it's something that you should do, but you should do it in planning for your next year. Right, so
Yeah,
that was just, that was
Right.
his suggestion. So, because he said if you do this
It's
now,
gonna delay it.
it's gonna delay it.
Right.
So if you change the focus of what your district goal is, which change what the superintendent's goal is gonna do. So is he or she supposed to switch in the middle of the year in terms of what their goals are gonna be? Or do we get the feedback, leave her goals in place, and from that point,
Well,
we establish our goals? So that, I'm providing feedback
yeah,
to what
well,
he.
can I just say one thing, I mean, we were asking to do this in the summer though, so I felt like we could have had a jump start on this, we should have had it for the beginning of the school. Because of the delay in doing this, now we're behind the 8 ball, I get what you're saying, you don't wanna keep delaying it, there's a mid-year evaluation. For the superintendent to, you know, to check in on her with her goals, so I do understand what you're saying.
I walked in a little late, so
That's
I
okay.
apologize for that, everybody, it's just balancing my life.
I
Okay,
don't even know, where is the microphone?
The microphone is back over there.
Oh, so we have
Okay.
to talk extra loud?
okay. I would be interested in setting district goals, albeit it's November. I do think that we should send out some sort of survey. I don't know that it would take 3 to 4 weeks, and I think you put like a short time frame on a survey, because otherwise it kind of gets lost in the shuffle as a parent. You have a bazillion emails and everything. It's just, you know what, a couple of days, provide the feedback, we would have the feedback that we can then take into account. But overall, in reading the historical goals of the district, there were like 3 main categories, right? It's like academics, finances, safety.
Mhm.
So to me, I feel like
And curriculum.
curriculum, of course, curriculum, academic, so it seems like it's kind of rushing up on it, refreshing it. And then I hear you saying like this, that Dr. Talbot already has her SMART goals. But I feel like they're tied to those main categories anyway. So that there really wouldn't be a reason not to go forward to refresh the district goals. That's my opinion, jumping in.
Oh, yeah, no, I think,
Well, Lisa, are you saying you don't wanna do goals for this year, or you do wanna do goals?
oh, I
So-
do, I do wanna do
But
goals.
you wanna delay the survey for next year?
No, what I would like to do, this is just my perspective.
Okay, yeah,
What I would like to do is, to establish our district goals and hopefully establish them tonight. But then also, in moving forward, we can also be proactive and start in terms of looking at for next year. You know, because to your point, if you look at the different categories, there's finance, there's about safety of the district, there's about curriculum, and it's about relationships. So I think that we could work on establishing some goals connected to all those particular areas. But then, once again, this is our perspective of, right now, there's 5 of us here at the table, right? But if we get information from our community.
Yeah.
From our children, from our parents, from our staff, then we can also really make those goals as we move forward even tighter, so we can be ahead of the game. Establish some goals for this for right now, but then still go ahead and do a survey. And say, we're gonna be proactive in terms of moving forward, that,
May I
anyone else,
say
go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, without knowing how this process is supposed to go,
Mhm.
because I've never done it before, I just figured. Maybe we all come in with our own idea of what the goal should be, put it up on the wall,
Right.
and then we talk about it.
Yes, that
So
was my thought.
I had
Yeah.
all my notes prepared, and I was thinking about the main categories, which. You just mentioned finance, safety, academics, curriculum. I wasn't thinking of curriculum, but the first, three I had. And to me, so I'm gonna give you what I was thinking individually as one of 7 trustees.
Mhm.
And that is that. I think of our district as like a car engine, it's a classic car, it's got history, it's got pride. But we've neglected the engine and we have to focus on the basics of fixing the engine. Because if we do, that will bring us to the place where we can achieve the academics and the culture that is so important to us. So for me, short-term achievable within the year district goals would require focusing on getting our finances, solvent and resetting them as far as our priorities. And then, addressing our operations and communication within the district. Because I do believe that everything else follows from that. I think that if our engine is running smoothly, and if people are operating in concert with each other, then the academics starts to fall into place, the culture starts to fall into place. There's like a logical order to everything. You can't say from step 1, we want high grades, we want great culture, we want great this, like you have to address the foundation first. So for me, right now, I feel like coming off what happened last spring, finances first. And then just operations is central admin communicating with building leaders, communicating with teachers, communicating with everyone else. I would like to have a targeted focus on finances and operations and communication. So that's my 1/7 perspective out of everything. Go.
I feel
Sorry,
like-
no pressure.
No, I feel like your point kind of piggybacks off of what Lisa was saying a little bit, where it's like, maybe I'm speaking, not really understanding what you were saying, but I think I do. Where it's hit the core stuff, and then after those surveys, then it would kind of expand into the finer details that you were speaking about.
Or maybe not even finer, but just like what comes next, like
Okay.
the stuff that we're all excited about,
Yeah.
like grades. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take your.
No,
Exactly.
because I was basically taking the two of yours and trying to put it together.
And I think also too, I think we, in looking at the webinar and sitting in presentations, we need to remember that whatever goals we come up with, they are overarching goals, right? So we're not the ones that are gonna say that,
correct.
you know,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just.
what-
It's the superintendent
what-
to then, like, we're doing the district goals, we're doing, the mission statement is like why we do what we wanna do, the vision is like our idealistic, the best vision that we want for the school district. And then the superintendent's goals are tied to the district goals, because she's gonna be the one to figure out how to implement them, what that looks like, we're gonna say what we want at the top of it, to piggyback off of what Caroline said, like I came in here, I think student achievement should always be first. I think academics should always be first, we definitely have a crisis where most of the kids are not proficient at grade level. I think that we have to be student centric. And every single decision we make should be, it's good for children, can the budget support it, that's how I always feel, so I think it's student achievement. I had finances too, but I like how you tied it in with operations and the communication, because all 3 of those things kind of go together. And for me, it was safety too, that children have to learn in a safe environment. And when there's distractions or interruption in instruction, it's problematic for the students, for the staff to get their tasks done. So I would like to see those 3 things done. I don't know if you want to start writing it down, or how you want to do it.
Yeah, because maybe, and I'm open for suggestions, because like I said, I do it a certain way at work. Like, for example, starting with the old goals, it says the district will provide a safe, clean, secure learning environment for all students and staff. Do we want to start with safe?
Is that the mission statement or the goals?
That's the goal, the district goals.
Okay.
I-
It says 4 on here, no?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you
Well,
can do, you can do as many as you want, but
Yeah,
usually it's
exactly.
like 3 or
Yeah.
4.
What is, yeah, you can do.
I mean, I maybe.
I've seen some of it with 6.
I wonder, Lisa, if maybe a
Oh,
way
I'm
to do
sorry, I
it,
couldn't see it. I couldn't see all 4 you had written.
Yes.
maybe
I'm with
write
you.
it and then we decide what order it is, at least to get it on the board for now.
Yeah, I'm not, in terms of writing, I'm just writing, there's no particular order.
Right, and then like maybe we could collaboratively figure out the order.
And
I think, don't you want to write?
Hard to clarify, are we saying, can we go back to the whole survey, are you saying we're not gonna, or are you saying we are gonna set the district goals? We're gonna send the survey, and we're gonna use the survey to enhance the goals for next year, is that what you're suggesting?
That was my thought was to, when we came in tonight, was to establish our district goals.
Okay,
I'm not saying, when you were saying maybe send the survey out
Yeah.
shortly and go, my feeling is hold off and send the survey, maybe wait until like January, February and say that in preparation for doing our district goals for next year, we're sending out a survey, we want feedback on the following areas. That was just a thought I had.
Regarding surveys, I feel like. Broad surveys, most people ignore. If it's a targeted survey, aimed at a targeted audience, people will respond. So without knowing, like, until we know what our goals are. I wouldn't out of hand say, we're gonna do a survey, like, until we know specifically, then you
Well,
decide.
But you're
couldn't
asking,
you take what we come up with tonight and send it out and say,
Who
are there
sending?
any other thoughts, or?
well,
You would tailor the survey after we meet tonight.
can I just say something? I think I disagree with that because I think it's a very brief survey. You're really saying, what do we do really good? What are we most proud of? What do you think we do great in this district, right? We're pinpointing it, we're asking
But who
all
are you
these different
sending it to?
stakeholders. We're sending it to
Parents?
all the different stakeholders. We're sending it to the parents, we're sending it to teachers, we're sending it to all the staff, to the administrators. And then we would send it out to community groups or businesses, but you're saying, what are you proud of? What do you think we do good? What do you think are the biggest challenges, and like, what would you like to see improvement in? And then another key component to this, because I think this has come up before, I have not been on this board while there were surveys. I think there was some issues with the board not getting surveys. I would like to see the surveys go to like a general mailbox that the board has access to, so that we could see it and it's not filtered. And then to the second part of that, I do think the surveys need to be anonymous. Because I think some people, are not comfortable having their name tied to it, for various reasons. But I think I would love to do the goals tonight, Lisa, just so you know, I think it is attainable to do that. But I think if you have a short time span of a week, that you could do the goals, get the feedback, and maybe just have a second date or a second part of another meeting where everything's kind of together. And if we need to tweak something, we tweak it, but data is like, we should really be data driven, and that data is really important for us to know how we're doing and to know how other people think that we're doing in this district. And all good ideas don't just have to come from people at this table.
Can I jump in then? Cause when you talk about things being data driven, I think of data being very specific. And that's why I personally am excited about specific district goals for the year. And then that would lend itself to a specific survey that could go out to everybody, but depending on what it is, might be more pertinent to certain groups. But my concern is that if it's so broad, like we wanna do everything, we wanna fix everything all at once, it kind of loses its like oomph, if that makes sense.
But we're just asking people, so if somebody said to you, I mean, I hear what you're saying, I'm not dismissing it. But I just think a general question for people, is what are we doing good and what do you think needs improvement? A lot of people are gonna have a lot of different answers.
But
and I think
what
all
kind
those
of data
answers are
would like
important.
tie into that? Like if you put out like a very general survey to everybody asking what's good, what's bad, what kind of data is
Well,
going to be?
I'll give you, for instance, what if you have all different percentages and you break it out by percentages and you start seeing all these different areas and then there's a trend. And maybe the trend is safety, maybe the trend is graduation rate, well, you'll be able to see the trends within the responses.
But I think, can I just jump in for a second? Because, and I think this is great in terms of going back and forth and hearing everyone's like opinion. And I am in support of a survey, but I also feel as if we can establish our district goals. We can establish them tonight, because when we're talking about safety, for example, we send a survey out, we get the information back. I think based on whatever we get back, if it's something that we need to just adjust just a little bit, we can adjust it, because our district goals probably will be so overarching, it may cover some of the areas that people may have concerns about, because if it's connected to safety, maybe it's already gonna be addressed in one of our goals. So I have no problem sending out a survey, but I think we are able to establish some type of district goals right now. Still send out the survey, and then see what feedback we get back, and then go from
And
there.
then-
And I think if we need to tweak it, we can tweak it, but I think we have to remember a couple of things, this is my perspective. Dr. Talbot has already started with her goals, and she's already has tasked our administration with their goals as well. So my feeling is that we establish our goals, we can get feedback from the community, but can also help us to move forward. And just say, okay, we heard this, one thing that someone didn't speak about, maybe they just spoke about how come all the buildings have blue color, I'm just making something up. And, you know, so we can create another goal, district goal connected to some information that maybe came from the community, from a parent, from a teacher, or whatever, that we didn't even think about.
Well, I think the difference is the things that are getting like maybe confused here is the district goals are overarching.
Right.
This is what we wanna say,
Right.
but then it's the superintendent goals
small
are
goals.
tied to the goals. So when you say specifics, or you get a survey back, or they say these are the issues, then the superintendent is tasked to say, these are identifiable issues. You know, this is, this is pertains to this goal, now you gotta figure out how to do it, right? She's the CEO, she has to figure that out. That's where it comes in, the data on how to do things. That trickles down to the superintendent goals. Right, so everybody gets it, it's the vision and the mesh, and the mission,
We're not,
the district goals, and then the superintendent. Okay, so,
Okay.
let's get started.
I would say student achievement. And I would do climate/culture.
Don't have to leave it.
And finances, or go to the,
I'm just throwing down ideas.
or is this just the categories?
I'm just throwing down ideas and then from that point,
I
we
think Carolyn
operations.
is, yeah.
and you say operations. Expand.
How all the different departments, buildings communicate with each other.
Operations.
Operations / communications.
Dr. Talbot, you have any thoughts? Anyone else in the?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm hearing, the robust discussion, which really drives home to the need for us to have an overarching school improvement planning tool. And we know that we can't do that this year because we need to move forward. I would ask if the board would just reconsider, even if it's for next year, to bring in a strategic planning model. And the reason that I proposed this is because, one, we have a struggling district. We have systems and structures that need to be developed, implemented, and strengthened. We have a financial situation which is on the upward trajectory now, but has not been. And so we have been looking at our internal operations to strengthen them. We are looking at student achievement, where it's been quite a challenge in moving students along the trajectory for proficiency and then for mastery, thus improving our graduation rate. So what have we been doing internally as a district? Looking at the portrait of a graduate, starting with the end in mind. And what do we need to do to back up, even in pre-K, which was one of our focuses on superintendent's conference day? What are the standards? What are the implementations? What are the expectations? What is the curricular trajectory to push our students to achieve the skills and the attributes and the proficiencies of the portrait of a graduate? And so all of this feeds into that outcome that we would all be proud of. So when school started, we knew that we had to start somewhere. And so we started with those 4 overarching goals that I have distributed. And so on the superintendent's level, we looked at academics and the proficiency rates that we want to achieve in the 4 cores. With culture and climate, we know that we're all concerned about the safety, we're concerned about the learning environment. And so we developed a goal that would improve our student and staff satisfaction in terms of the working climate and the learning climate. And then we looked at family and community engagement and our desire to be partners with our families to increase the engagement, not just the involvement, but to really engage around conversations and empower our parents to be active participants in our students' learning process. And then, of course, our financial and budgeting, which surely does tie into operations. And how are we effectively using our resources and how are we auditing our budget as we're moving forward? And so when we look in the policy manual and we look at the district goals that were previously adopted, I believe these feed into those 4 district goals. Oh, okay. So what we offered here was just a proposed draft for discussion and consideration. For academic excellence, it says here, where are we? Number 4, the district will provide all students with access to challenging instructional curriculum that leads to college and career readiness by graduation, which is definitely on point. And here is some language that we're just offering for discussion to promote academic excellence by advancing curriculum quality.
Where are you
Instruction,
seeing that? I'm sorry, where is
She done
that?
had this, the
Yeah.
district goals.
Yeah, but what are you reading? No, you're reading off the,
Yeah,
Here.
she's tying it to this.
okay, sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
that's okay. By advancing curriculum quality, instructional effectiveness, and student engagement. So when we do our instructional walkthroughs and we visit each school, we ask the administration what has been identified as your focus for the year. It ties to their goals. And then as a network of leaders, we walk through the school in a supportive, warm nature. And we're looking to target those areas and come back and offer recommendations and a mini action plan that building administration can implement right away based upon the snapshots that we're observing in the building that day. So focus on providing targeted support, integrating digital learning resources. Although we don't have the committees that we've had in the past due to funding, we had a digital learning software committee. And they presented resources that have been approved for implementation. So looking to see how we can bring those in and make our learning accountable to those, ensuring that every student achieves meaningful academic growth in core subjects by the end of the school year. So what follows that are the goals that we presented at the start of school, some actions that we were implementing to support the goals, and why we believe they were attainable and realistic. We gave ourselves some timelines and how we were going to measure those to see how we're coming along. So the reason I provided this would be just to give the board just a draft to look at what could be some proposed district goals for consideration and compare to what we already have and discuss if these would fit into where we are now, but then to also consider that we have so many bigger items out there that really need to be addressed through surveys, through stakeholder input, through real data that's going to drive us looking again at our mission and saying, is this really our driver? Is this really our why? Is this why we're doing what we're doing? And then to look at our vision statement. I think the last time that a vision statement was looked at was in 2016, that I was able to find something in a PowerPoint. But I didn't want to illuminate too much of that because I know these goals really need to drive, our mission really need to drive these goals and that vision. But having a strategic facilitator who can actively engage our community groups, all of our stakeholders, while we are still allowed to drive the district and fulfill our daily operations. Right now, we met with the student council at the high school. We shared our mascot draft survey with them, right? That's one survey we're getting student input back from. We're also working on a climate and culture survey that's going to be administered in November. So now we're saying, let's do a survey around goals and missions, and we will certainly push forward all of the processes that we have to. But I'm simply saying if we can pull back and look at the benefit of a strategic facilitator driving this process, I think we will all be more effective at getting the end result that we all desire.
So thank you
Can I
for
go
that.
in a minute?
Just 1 second, one thing I didn't realize was what you have here, I didn't realize you have here proposed district goals for consideration. When I looked at it, I thought it was
Just mine.
your goal, all right. So for me, similar to what Caroline had said, I thought when we came in here, we were looking at the old goals and then from that point, trying to establish a new set of goals,
Yeah.
right? So I think that we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that as we move forward, let's start with one, and then I'll let you jump in. Let's start with one area. We want to start with the academic excellence. If Dr. Talbot has something here, we have something there. If someone has something else, how do we merge it all together? You know, to come up with what we want to do as an academic excellence.
Yeah, right, so right. Board driven for the goals and everything with collaboration. I have to say this, I know that there's a big push for the strategic planner. I'm really not thrilled to hear that, being that the board rejected that and the board voted no. So to hear the pitch again is disappointing. It was $30,000 a year for 3 years. That's why we pay the superintendent an awful lot of money, because strategic planning falls under your purview. And I'm not looking to hire somebody else to do this job. This district has a lot of consultants and we spend a lot of money on it. We hire a superintendent to do this, and that does fall under your responsibilities with your team. So I am not in support of that. I am in support of the goals here and what Lisa said about having the topics and working from there out, but I didn't appreciate that pitch necessarily. I
So
think we
what
need to work together.
what I will say is this, is that from attending the municipal conference, one of the things that I heard, especially in the setting, goals, district goals, was the fact that districts should have a strategic plan. And
That's not necessarily true.
No, but
though.
I'm
That's not-
I'm
that's
sharing
not-
with you I'm sharing with you what.
Oh, plan, I'm sorry, I thought you said planner.
No,
Sorry.
they said you should have a strategic plan. What I did do in speaking with 3 different school board people, and they said that they had a strategic plan who had come in. So I understand what you're saying, but I also feel as if, and I know it was also mentioned at one of the meetings, but regardless, that's a separate topic. And I think as a board, if we want to revisit it, we can revisit it, but that's not the focus for tonight. Our focus for tonight is more about setting our district goals. So I'm gonna bring us back to.
Yeah,
the
I
district goal setting.
appreciate that.
So
I think
can-
we should stay on topic
Can
and
we
that
do
would
that?
really
Can we
diverse.
start under the academic excellence? And I do appreciate what Dr. Talbot had to say, because I felt that was, she provided some, her insight, and is connected to everything that we're trying to accomplish. It's the district goals, to the goals related to a strategic plan that we don't have in place currently. So, I do appreciate, I didn't realize that once again, that you had it on top, so it does help, but if anyone else has anything else, let's get started with this one here, and how can we merge? And we can start right here, we already have here,
Well, why don't we start with student achievement? That's the first one. Academic excellence,
Right.
student achievement.
right,
The only thing is, we don't want to make it long. I mean, usually it's just like a bullet point for each thing, because again, it's overarching and then the
Right.
superintendent goals are
but
bigger.
this one here which is really to ensure the continued improvement of the
Yeah.
school district will create a fiscally responsible budget that provides a comprehensive education for all students.
So why don't we as a
So-
group figure out some things that we wanna see in the, student achievement? I think having,
I mean, academic excellence.
academic excellence.
So I'm gonna just write here, because Dr. Talbot will promote academic excellence by advancing curriculum, quality, instructional methods, and student engagement. If we wanna stop there,
And I wanna add something.
we can stop there, and it says focusing on targeted support, integrated digital learning resources to ensure that every student achieves meaningful academic growth in core subjects by the end of 24-25. I think for the second half, I'm not completely comfortable with the second half, but I do support the first half.
Well, you don't wanna do the second half, because it's really supposed to be like between 3 and 5 years.
Yeah.
So you don't wanna pigeonhole yourself, and yeah, the superintendent goals are annual, but they are tied to the evaluation. But the goals of a district are between 3 to 5 years, and as a Board of Education, we should be deciding how many years we want this to be. So I guess at the end, we can talk about this, but I think the first sentence for me is okay, but I do want there to be resources in here, that they I like that Dr. Talbot had put the resources in here, but having, the students and staff having the resources needed, I think is important.
Thank you. So.
We need to write.
Yes. Can you add in there, student and staff having resources? Necessary resources available to them? Because that's to achieve the goal.
Okay, don't laugh, no, no. Resources.
I would say I like the existing goal had the college and career readiness. And then the proposed goals that I had. So previously,
okay.
we had challenging instructional curriculum that leads to college and career readiness.
We could just
I would
maybe
like
tie it into the same goal.
Somehow tie that into the.
So student
revised-
staff have necessary resources.
How about to meet
Leading to.
the individual student needs? There's definitely a gap there.
Or miss. And I do like this part here, that leads to college and career readiness.
Can we just add that onto it and combine it to make it one goal?
So why not promote academic excellence by advancing curriculum quality, instructional effectiveness, and student engagement?
Leading to.
Leading to college and career readiness by
Yes.
graduation.
Yes.
Yeah, and then put that last sentence at the end. Put that one.
And I'll write it again. You need to.
So
my computer.
that leads to college and career readiness by
Where's the
graduation.
computer? Do you wanna use your computer?
That way everyone can see it,
Right.
and I'll write on them.
Career readiness by graduation.
So I'll rewrite it.
Do you wanna, maybe put the title on it, Lisa, like student achievement, academic excellence, whatever it is, I think student achievement, I think it should be student in there.
Are we talking about how to measure at this point or no?
No, we don't
No.
do how to measure.
Oh, you don't have to rewrite it, why are you rewriting it? That's fine, how you did it, don't make more work for yourself.
Or do you, because Eileen's gonna have to write this over.
She just makes-
all these pieces of.
I think just write
Okay,
student achievement at the top.
is it student achievement or academic excellence?
We could decide, but I think student.
But when the district goals, you need titles.
It's not the.
No,
ordinance.
these ones don't have it.
Yeah, I don't think we need a title connect. I mean, we could.
Their examples had it, but. They had like topics like of it too, so,
Alright, so we got this,
okay, that was good,
that covers kind of that one there.
good job.
Culture and climate,
Yeah,
so the district will build a positive and effective relationship with children and increase parental opportunity for collaboration.
I think that has to be really expanded upon because we seem to have issues with the culture and climate.
So it has to create a positive, inclusive, and supportive school environment that enhances well-being and strengthens relationship among students, staff, and families. Implement initiatives that celebrate achievement, build connections, and foster a safe and welcoming atmosphere throughout the district.
Is the second statement in the book like more specific?
I think it's more, yeah, I think
Maybe not
the first,
necessary.
yeah, I think the first one, create a
Goal.
positive, inclusive, and supportive school environment that enhances well-being and strengthens relationships among students, staff, and families.
I'm not sure what you would wanna put this under, whether it's under safety or this, but. I would like to see a move towards restorative justice. As opposed to punitive right now, we seem to be punitive.
So how, if, any other thoughts on this, restorative justice in terms of adding in, is that?
Does anybody feel like that should be under culture and climate or under safety?
Are we combining safety and culture and climate?
Seems like it is.
Maybe we can combine it like we did the other one.
Perhaps.
Seems combined.
If we started out by saying the district will provide a safe, clean, and secure learning environment for all students and staff, creating a positive, inclusive, and supportive. I was just trying to see how we could maybe blend the two. There are components of restorative justice in the report that the board receives. They don't, get that. We get the incidents that
I
require
know,
consequence. But in terms of an actual program, and training, that will cost money to set up a system.
well, I think there could be internal controls for that, like, I was reviewing the code of conduct and I was concerned, like K through 6, I think recess was maybe used as. A consequence, which I don't support, I think there's studies out there that don't support that. And just, I know that there were some levels for 5-day suspensions that. Just in reviewing it as a trustee, I didn't agree with, I mean, I think it's extreme, some of these cases, and I know we have numerous things outlined, it's very detailed, more than, I've seen, and. I'm just something that it should be reviewed, and yeah, I just want.
So if I can just say, we are starting to meet with these,
Yeah.
shared decision-making teams in the buildings around the code of conduct, so that is a work in process. But I do want to state that the schools are implementing restorative justice processes, but we do not have a system in every building that will build upon it.
But you know what, that's like a great goal to give you though, right? So the superintendent can figure out a goal for that, that's like a great goal to work towards,
We're
yeah.
working on it.
Be positive, inclusive, and supportive school environment.
That fosters a safe, clean, and
Forces safe, clean, secure learning environment.
we're
Do we have to
repeating.
put clean in there? I mean, it shouldn't everything be clean anyway.
Forces safe. and
Well, I mean, it's
secure.
the same as everything should be safe, so. You're
Well,
gonna
I
say
think
it's safe,
safety is a different
Right.
than, I
what's the
mean,
hurt? There's
I
no
don't know, I
harm
don't
in
think
it,
that we
clean,
want
No
to
harm
say
in
it.
just small word.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what we're training for. So I'm adding on the end here that says.
Well, I think we're gonna combine safety with this,
So
right?
we're gonna add on here,
Something like safety.
providing a safe, clean, and secure learning environment. Create a positive, inclusive, and supportive school environment that enhances well-being and strengthens relationship among students, staff, and family. leading to a safe, clean, no, not leading to.
Fostering.
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 Be safe and secure.
Safe, clean, and secure.
Okay.
Learning environment.
It's a word instead of environment. I don't think environment.
Safe and secure.
Okay,
Culture and climate. Did we use that yet? Fostering.
I
No,
like
we
using
didn't.
culture and climate.
Yeah, culture and
Yeah.
climate is, yeah.
Fostering a safe, clean, and secure culture and climate.
Learning, culture and climate.
But just learning climate. I don't know about the culture part.
Learning climate.
Okay.
And maybe we could put something in there like strive, something like with the word strive and culture, like what are we striving to do with the culture? We're consistently trying to. I don't know,
Is that more?
I'm not too sure what you mean.
It's like when you start to
I was just thinking like,
work towards the high level goal.
I'm not too sure what you mean.
I thought, I was just thinking out loud, like with the culture, like we want to consistently be at the top part of the culture. I don't know if I'm not articulating it well, but like we want to. Like basically we want to have
Strive
our
excellence or-
like drive for a positive culture, like we just, I don't know.
Well, could we say create a positive, inclusive and supportive school culture
Hmm.
that enhances? We change the word environment to culture.
You said culture?
Yeah.
Just, yeah, for a starter. That enhances well-being and strengthens relationships among students, staff, and families.
Fostering a safe, clean, and secure learning.
Yeah.
I mean, that was to say environment if you wanted to. Fostering a safe, clean, and secure
Right.
learning environment.
They
Environment,
basically
yeah.
get the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just different.
Okay.
You can even use the word setting. Think of it. Look at the source.
Yes.
Next, moving right along, finance maybe?
Work family communication of finance. Most finances. Finance is the last page.
I feel like you were ready.
You wanna
for
do
this one.
finance at the end?
Yeah, let's-
No, let's do that.
That's what you-
I'm sorry, I'm thinking.
So it
Out of
says,
the red.
right now we have to ensure the continued improvement of the school district, we will create a fiscally responsible budget that provides for comprehensive education for all students.
How about a fiscally responsible balanced budget?
Which has to ensure responsible financial stewardship by maintaining a balanced budget,
Yeah,
optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit students and support district goals.
How about a transparent balance?
yeah,
budget?
I like
Because
that
that's
That's
what
it.
got us in trouble,
So,
lack of
I'm gonna write what's
transparency.
here and then we'll edit it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that, transparent. Don't change this. Students. And support. So.
All right,
I think I like Carol,
Transparent.
I like Carol's idea of being transparent.
wait,
Maintaining a transparent balanced
Trans-
budget.
Yeah,
That's what I-
transparent, balanced
uh,
budget.
parent. Balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly.
I would say directly impact
I missed the word,
Benefit.
directly benefit.
or benefit, okay, benefit,
Will support, oh, did you support me?
well, benefits fine, benefits students.
Directly benefit students and support district goals.
So we're not necessarily saying anything about education, because we're saying district goals, and we have a goal that's about enhancing the quality of our curriculum. Because previously, the goal said comprehensive education.
So you finish that directly benefit students and students in support or provides for a comprehensive education for all.
No, I'm just saying out loud, I think that it's okay that we're not necessarily using that terminology. Because we're saying it supports the district goals, and one of the district goals is the academic excellence, so.
And really, all
You
of
could
these
put
goals
in-
basically are here for the education.
Right,
And
or you could say that
Yeah.
directly benefits student achievement and experience and support district goals.
Achievement.
Student achievement and experience.
Yep.
Is whole experience,
Achievement and experience.
if that's what everyone wants.
All right, so to finish with that directly benefits student achievement and experience.
Student achievement.
Student,
Right, you
Yeah.
want students,
comma, and support district goals.
students achievement.
After students, you gotta like put that arrow.
Put a
down
little,
there.
put a
Put the
little
arrow down.
arrow down there.
Yes.
There you go.
And experience
Uh-huh.
and support district goals.
Mhm.
That's it, boy, these are quite the arrows, anyone like. I don't think I love it and support district goals, like, why don't? I don't love that phrase. Achievement
To support district goals?
that provides a comprehensive
Oh, what
education
about-
for all students.
I like this, to enhance educational outcomes.
Oh, yeah, that's good, I
Could
like
use
that.
that too, yes.
That one's good, where is that?
The second line of the proposed. Enhance educational outcomes.
Yeah, how about that, and and take out support district goals and replace it.
So student achievement and experience.
Yes,
To enhance.
To enhance.
Educational outcomes.
um. What do you guys think about and should we put and our responsibility to taxpayers, like, should we put something in there too, because, right, the school district is about the children's education.
Responsible stewardship.
But if we say ensure responsible stewardship by maintaining transparent, balanced budget. Is that so?
Okay.
That definitely encompasses the taxpayers.
Student achieves experience to enhance educational outcomes, yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe,
No.
Mary, can you read yours to see if we?
Oh, you're writing it
Yeah.
down.
No.
That's it. Somebody's
I wasn't
typing it.
changing anything.
I think somebody's typing it up.
Oh, that's good, because I don't know what's going on.
Mary's on it.
Ensure responsible stewardship by maintaining a transparent, balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit student achievement and experience to enhance educational outcomes and support district goals.
No.
I think we're taking out, I think we're taking out district goals, we're taking out that last part. Okay, and maybe check it off, Lisa, so we know on that, how you cross out, so we know what we took on that one list.
We did this, we did this. We did that.
Yeah, I think that was tied in.
We did finances, operational investment communication,
Communication.
which is climate. Family community engagement, build robust partnerships with families and the community to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are valued. Enhance communication engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities and foster a collaborative supportive district culture.
That's a lot.
Honestly, I like the second half. Enhance communication and engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities and foster a collaborative supportive district culture.
And like a supportive district culture with families, community, or all stakeholders, or however you want to do that. A family,
Well, yeah, she. was
families,
saying the
community, and all
last
stakeholders.
Sentence here.
So, yeah,
Can I
I,
just be, sorry, because I was the one who said, operations communication, I guess when I thought of communication in that capacity, it was like intra, like between departments, like central admin and building admin and teachers. Like, I think it's really important that those lines of communication be prioritized. Not to undermine the importance of communication with the family, but they're not the same.
so maybe
Meaning like, if a teacher doesn't feel like, their principal or central admin understands their needs, that's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Can we just make two separate goals?
Yes, that's my
Yeah,
point.
maybe a
Like, you
fifth
hear
goal.
communication, you think communication as it relates to everybody, but I'm trying to parse out communication among staff versus communication between families and the district.
but I wonder, can we, as we flush this out, maybe we can include everyone in there?
And
as
make
we-
it
as we-
one goal.
As we flush it out.
But I think it's two different avenues,
It
like,
is, yeah, definitely it is.
I mean, it could get,
It's
you
not
could, it could be
family.
very cumbersome, so, or it might be better to keep it separate. You could do it either way, which way works better, we can debate that.
Could be a community.
But I just wanna make it
could be a
clear that I was
communication
referring
goal.
to communication within,
like administration is communicating with the teachers and the custodial staff and all that. And then have a separate one where the board and administration, everybody is communicating with the families and the community members.
Can it be an overarching communication goal then, and be inclusive of both ideas? Maybe it's a
Communication, and then there's a separate engagement goal.
One additional bullet point.
well, I just feel like they're very different, like a parent's concerns are gonna be different than a teacher who's here to do a job.
But is it,
Who
But-
may feel like,
I understand, but once you have the overarching goal, then the SMART goals that are under it would have to embrace both. You would have, but I understand what you're saying.
President Johnson, could we see once again the financial goal?
Okay.
Could we bring that back for a second? Well. It's not there.
I was thinking like, why can't both sentences handle one underarching goal? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to dilute yours, I'm saying keep yours exactly as it is, just have two sentences under the communication goal.
I guess here's why I was inclined to keep it separate, because it wasn't just communication, it was communication and operations. I feel like, given all the turnover we've had in recent years, like. Going back to the beginning of the night, never having done this before, thinking that tonight's goals were gonna be kind of time specific, like what do we wanna do this year and maybe next year? I've had some very targeted goals in mind. Seeing how the process has evolved or unfolded, it seems much more broad and overarching, like, no,
Yes.
like every district wants these goals, it's like, we all wanna do a good job, so.
Well,
I understand how what I had in mind is different than the way it's moving. But I guess I just want to point out that I feel like. Operations and communication just within district staff is an area that needs, attention, and we should make it a goal. And I'm concerned that if we tack on family communication to that, which is also very important, we might get a goal. So.
Yeah, so the reason I asked for finances to come back is because usually you can blend operations and finances because even though they're two distinct things in terms of
They're tied.
finances, they are definitely tied. And when you initially shared it, you kind of shared it,
Yeah.
finances and operations, and yes, I do. And so I was just looking at it again to see, is there a way that we can embed it that would extract what you're really after? Because that was one of our initial focuses, internal operations, and it still is. Ensure responsible stewardship.
And communication, no.
So you mean have the internal aspect of what Caroline was saying in the operations goal, and then have the external on a separate goal?
Well, external would be mostly family and community, right? Which is, I think we were trying to do it a little separately, if I'm understanding correctly. And then internally, we're looking for internal accountability through communications and really through systems and structures, right? Ensure responsible stewardship but that one is so focused right there.
Yeah,
on
I don't think
finances.
you can
Yeah,
add on
so
that one.
focused.
I think that's like a finance.
Mhm. Yeah,
But Caroline, I see what you're saying, but right, so like they are, the district goals are general. And then when you start, you know, drilling down is the superintendent goals, right? So how are you gonna get there? But I guess, are you saying like we want it out there? So if it is 3 to 5 years, we have it in writing on a district goal. Is that like what?
I mean, it could be that what, again, because I've never done this before, what I was thinking of as district goals are really superintendent goals. I'm not sure.
Right,
Like, I was coming at it with like, what are the specific things this year, maybe next year,
Yeah.
that I think are most pressing?
Well, it's like how to get there, so that's like kind of a how to get there, like this is what we want, how do we get there, the superintendent gets us there. And then that falls under her, how to get to there, but we're letting her know what we wanna see.
Yeah, it's still good to articulate them.
Yeah.
So what about something like the district will build positive and effective communication with the staff?
Are we under finance, like where
No,
are we? right
no,
now?
I
Do you
just-
know where we are?
no.
I think if you use the word internal, and
No,
then
I-
talk about the.
I just wrote down here about on the family and community engagement, but as I was sitting here, I looked over here. And I said to kind of connect to maybe what you're trying to think about, the district will build a positive and effective relationship with the staff. Of the district, I was just kind of sitting there playing, but I'm sorry, focus, we're going back.
Yeah, that one we're not even doing, these are ours over here.
I know,
Oh, you're saying, can we build
I'm
on it?
saying, can we build on that, but I said,
Oh,
let me stop, let's go back over to here. We're over here now, Dan is coming over here, we're talking about family and community engagement, that, so that was just my thought. Once again, does someone like the first half of it better? Do you like build robust partnership with families in the community to create an inclusive school environment where all voice and value? That's.
I like that one.
I like it too. But getting back to what Carolyn said, I think that,
Go ahead,
I know, we've got to tie that in somewhere.
but
I'm almost wondering if it should go under the academic piece, but anyway, let's focus on that first.
so I'm
Internal.
gonna do the first half of it up here, build robust partnership with family and the community to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are valued.
I would like something in there about outreach, like, you know, collaboration.
I like the increased parental opportunity for collaboration.
That's a good one. Increase, or how did you say this?
It's an increased parental opportunities for collaboration.
Maybe make it parental and community opportunities for collaboration.
True.
Well, not everybody has a parent, so it's kind of like parents and families.
That's what he said, community.
Communities.
Community, yeah, so it's, well, all right, so family and community.
Wait, and how about this, and increase parent, and,
Wait.
I'm not wondering if you could stick it in right there, Lisa, that's why I was saying, that.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, what is she sticks it in right there, Megan? I was gonna say,
inclusive school environment
no, I was gonna say,
and more opportunities for collaboration or.
hosting a real robust partnerships with families and the community and increase parental family engagement should create an inclusive school environment for all voices. That's right. I was thinking of putting it after community. So like build robust partnerships with families and the community and to increase, increase parent and community opportunities.
Well, maybe not use the word parent, to your point
Families,
before,
yeah.
yeah,
I was just reading it, sorry.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. No, I thought you read it. I will build robust partnerships with families in the community to increase family and community opportunities.
Well, we just said family.
So you don't want to use, to create,
Partnerships through opportunities for collaboration.
I have it and create
Through
opportunities.
All voices are heard and valued at the end.
Should we add students somewhere in there to kind of make it seem like they're getting the
Are you
voice?
typing over there?
I am typing.
Oh,
Are we on the enhanced communication?
I don't know where we're at versus. And we were up here, because I heard several things about build robust partnership with family
Mhm.
And the
and
community.
the community.
With opportunities for collaboration, with increased opportunities for collaboration.
Increase, yeah.
To create an inclusive school environment where all voices are valued.
Getting long, right?
Yeah, that's
I don't know if I can
So-
say it again.
I know you're right, right?
No, so you're trying to build in externals,
With increased
is that what you're
opportunities
trying to do?
The opportunities for collaboration.
for collaboration, put in for collaboration, Lisa.
Communications with external stakeholders.
Oh, we
okay.
didn't even get to the external city.
Okay, we gotta figure that out.
Mary, what do you have on yours right now?
I need you to move a little, but.
Yeah.
Build robust partnerships with families in the community with increased opportunities for collaborations to create an inclusive school, something
School environment, oh, just put an arrow.
where all voices are heard.
How about
Should we,
opportunities for collaborative discussion? Just
Hmm.
looks a little awkward to me.
Wait a second,
We're trying to include families and communication. at
build
the same-
robust partnership
I
with
mean, the
families in the community to.
With increased opportunities for collaboration to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued.
So my arrow was right.
Where all voices are, I think they wanted to add heard and valued.
what are we, you always shut me down, Lisa. Build robust partnerships with students, families and communities, so we get the student input in there, especially since we're looking to add. The student board member.
The students, family and community to increase opportunities for collaboration.
Where all voices are heard and valued, and then did you wanna put this part in, to foster a collaborative, supportive district culture? Or no, is that too much? Collaborative, that's collaborative twice, we don't wanna do collaborative twice.
How about instead of the community, put and stakeholders?
Yeah, cause I was wondering
Because
if we
that
needed,
includes,
I was just thinking, do we have to say staff then too?
I was gonna say, what about the staff in the district?
Yeah, that's
that's what I'm saying, if you say stakeholders.
Stakeholders
it's
is
more
all
encompassing.
inclusive.
Is it internal and external stakeholders? Is it? Or
So-
just
Oh, because,
and stakeholders?
are we talking about family and community engagement?
That's the first question,
Right.
We're talking about family. and community.
okay.
Then-
Yeah, that should stick to
So
that.
build robust partnership with students, family, and the community to increase opportunity for collaboration, to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued. Do I have the right order?
Yeah, do we wanna put something, do we have something in there about communication though with the, wait, am I missing it? Is the word communication in
Yeah,
there?
well,
We should-
That's trying to do
I
separate.
think we
So,
just need a
but-
separate communication.
Oh, I'm
Right.
on the other
Because
one. You guys got this.
So, but if we say
Separate
build
communication.
robust partnerships with students, family, and the community. To increase opportunities for collaboration, to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued. And
And then we could do communication separate.
Yeah, number five.
Maybe just take that off, Lisa, and let's do a communication.
so make this just communication, enhance communication and engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities and foster collaborative support.
And
And this
You
can
wanna make that
become,
separate?
Well, why
but
can't
then
that
you
be
can
part of that?
do, to
Oh,
Caroline's point, you can do internal communication,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a separate communication goal. Like, we're allowed to have a fifth district goal, right?
whatever you
I think the
So-
internal communications is definitely important because that is something that has been overlooked.
but
Which
wait
is
a
why
second,
we're suggesting to have a separate goal just for that, yeah.
Here's goal number 5, let's
Yeah.
start goal number 5.
So are we okay with this? Do we
Yeah,
wanna
that's
add
the one,
anything?
So,
I think communication separate.
So we're not, we're.
Yeah, the build robust is number 4.
Well,
separate.
don't you think the building a robot, building a partnership with the communication part would fall in with that? Because you need to have the communication to build that partnership.
But that's,
Yeah.
that's with families and community, we're gonna do a separate one for communications, which is, right, families, community, and staff, right? Isn't that what we're driving for?
No, at least what I think Caroline was saying, and I was trying to piggyback on her is. This would be that communication with the community and then have a separate one. For the internal communications
So
and
you wanna build
operations.
communication into this goal too, with families then?
Yeah, which I feel like if,
Specific.
in just saying the robust partnership kind of falls into the communication falls into that.
So why not
Why
say
can't you
by,
add it
why
together?
not say by enhancing communication and engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities?
Well, that's a really long sentence, like, why just make it a separate sentence, add that sentence on top.
That's what I was talking about adding it here.
Yeah,
I was saying I was gonna say, make a separate sentence by enhancing communication. And engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities.
And so you're already mentioning where all voices are heard,
Right.
But then. it's other-
Yeah, that's-
obviously communication going on with that.
sentences are fine. I think both, yeah.
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 How do we say something else to be said?
Mhm.
You know, it's great to be there, of course, you know, like. Yeah. You know, it's for the kids.
So I'll stop here and just kind of build robust partnerships with students, families, and the community. To increase opportunities for collaboration, to increase opportunities for collaboration. By creating an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued. And I can't say,
I would say to enhance.
to enhance. To enhance communication and engagement strategies to encourage active participation in school activities.
District activities.
It's gonna be a little run on.
Yeah, it is.
It is very run.
Well, I think that's hard to see right now. I think it's
Overarching,
separate.
like, keep it overarching, right?
Maybe district activities, like, or.
But isn't isn't school activities district activities?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
so if the district's goal is to build robust partnerships with for students, families, and the community to create an inclusive school environment.
No,
Oh, no?
to increase
Oh.
opportunities for collaboration,
Okay,
to create an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued.
then that's all I need to know. I need to enhance communication through some processes and specific actions.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, I get,
You're saying the second one isn't necessary, like you already know what you have to do.
Right, right.
Okay,
right,
So now we can go to Caroline's.
well, that's gonna be
It's
separate.
separate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is-
All right, well, moving on.
separate.
yeah,
I think this is the final one.
okay.
I do wanna go back to number one and add something. I forget what it was. One key word that I know is very important.
Caroline, are you ready for
Yeah, we're ready.
Waiting for this one.
Internal well, Lisa, you're not ready?
Caroline?
I'm waiting.
Okay, you gotta, go ahead.
Okay, so for internal communication, foster open lines of communication between all buildings and departments. This is the first draft, Dr. Talbot, this is her version, but this is my first draft.
So foster open,
Lines of communication between all buildings and departments. So that all staff can articulate concerns. And influence decision making.
Just take out the word that, after buildings and departments, so all staff instead of so that all staff.
But Dr. Talbot might wanna weigh into.
But I really think you captured it,
I think
because
you
you went a little
did.
further than what we initially talked about, so that decision making. I mean, we could say to produce efficient operations and enhance
Or
accountability.
best outcomes, or
I like, wait, what,
say again.
To produce efficient operations
Mhm.
and enhance accountability.
That's good.
And staff retention.
Or to create a positive learning and working environment.
Well, I like the accountability part, what we said, what did you say that last part again, I'm sorry.
To produce efficient operations
Yeah.
and enhance accountability.
Definitely.
I like that, to enhance efficient operations. Or did you say that to enhance efficient
Operations
Efficient operations.
and enhance,
Oh, wait, you can do it again, start over, go ahead.
to produce
Efficient operations.
efficient operations and enhance accountability.
and, Chris, what did you say?
To create a positive learning and working environment.
Caroline, does that capture what you wanted?
Yeah.
That's it?
Can we tie in staff retention or is that too specific? I guess I just assume that if you do that, you will retain staff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
You know, like you would think
Yeah.
if we managed this overarching goal,
Like that's
we
how you
should see
measure
an improvement
progress.
of
Right.
if staff
Yeah.
retention.
If they stay, it's because you're doing this well.
So that would be more of a SMART goal under this goal.
Can we put something in there, can we consider putting something in there like about valuing staff, something like the reason we're
But
doing
I feel like that,
That's
I mean,
what-
that's
That's again,
if
a
you
small
value
goal.
them, you give them an opportunity to
True.
speak and be heard and participate. Like, I feel like this whole, making this a goal shows how you value them.
That's why I wanted to add in the positive working environment, because I
Yeah,
feel
we're
like
at the
that,
same thing, right?
right.
So do you wanna say to produce efficient operation and enhance accountability? And to create a positive learning and working environment? Was that good? That's too long of a sentence.
If we
That's
go
really
to
long.
number 2, our goal is to create a positive, inclusive, and supportive school environment. That's for staff and students.
Where's that?
It's number 2, for
Great
culture and climate. I mean, hopefully this will further produce
Yeah.
that, but if it's too long, we do have it covered in
Well,
number 2.
That's true. So yeah, I guess if you just take off.
Can we do something like to build morale, or I don't know, I guess that doesn't fit in there.
So to produce efficient operations and enhance accountability.
Yeah.
For more positive learning. For more positive work environment.
I think that's getting off on a tangent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wasn't
That's-
considering the number 2.
So are we
Take off the
okay
bottom, I
with?
think take off the
Take it.
bottom part,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that looks good. Great. And then I think we wanted to review each one separately, just as it one last time.
Okay,
Go to number 1,
Yeah.
I'm going back to number 1.
promote academic excellence by advancing aligned curriculum quality. Because that has been an issue in the district. From one grade to another, there's been a lack of alignment.
Now, where are you again?
Okay, number 1,
Mhm.
promote academic excellence by advancing aligned curriculum quality. Just
What do you say?
Aligns
From
with
one
standards.
grade
Aligned.
together, from one building together.
from grade to grade and building to building.
Dr. Talbot?
I know Nakia probably can speak to that there has been a lack of alignment.
So.
Advanced aligned curriculum.
Like a certain line.
I could just.
Well, under that, because one of the specific actions, B, yeah. Let me see. We talk about implementing PD, integrating technology, formative assessments. I could add. And which we're actually working on. That's what Superintendent Cochran was all about. So thank you for being in the vein. K through 12, aligning, we were
So
Yeah.
you would add
beginning
that
the
in.
stage of that.
So you're gonna put that in your SMART goal? That's like the
Um,
superintendent goal,
I can put it in my specific action.
okay.
Okay,
All right, so promote academic excellence by advancing curriculum quality, instructional effective, and student engagement. Leading to college and career readiness by graduation.
And you're gonna go back to student.
And student and staff have the necessary resources to meet the individual student need.
Yeah.
Number 2. I'm okay with number 1. But they don't have to be in this order, I'm just.
Since Mary has.
So go ahead, Mary.
the types of versions.
Wait, I'm sorry, you going to number 2?
No, she just read number 1.
Oh, number 1 again.
Promote academic excellence by advancing aligned
No,
curriculum.
we're taking out a line.
take it because she's gonna put it in her.
By advancing curriculum quality, instructional effectiveness, and student engagement, leading to college and career readiness by graduation. Students and staff have the necessary resources to meet the individual students' needs.
So would an increase in graduation rate be like a specific goal then? Under this? Or should we tie increased graduation somehow to the district?
I think it would go under,
Like a more specific.
it would go under her, that,
That would be the superintendent
Right,
goal.
right,
Okay,
exactly.
increase, okay.
create a positive, inclusive, and supportive school culture that enhances well-being and strengthens relationships among students, staff, and families. Fostering a safe, clean, and secure learning environment.
I have a suggestion, I think it should be students, families, and staff. Families should go after students.
Of students, you say students.
Students, families, and staff.
It doesn't bring things to the wall, does it?
Oh my God, I guess we're gonna find out.
Who's rubbing alcohol?
You have this, Mary?
Yes.
You want to read it?
Create a positive, inclusive, and supportive school culture that enhances well-being and strengthens relationships among students, families, and staff, fostering a safe, clean, and secure learning.
Well, isn't safe and secure the same thing? Isn't that repetitive? Do we have another word? Or do we just wanna say fostering a safe learning environment, I mean.
Fostering a safe and clean learning environment?
Secure and safe are the same thing.
Do that. Yeah,
Okay.
take it secure.
You say leave it?
Yeah,
I say take out secure,
I
it's
say
the same
I
thing,
take out
it's the same thing. It's like-
Caroline, leave it and.
I was not paying attention to that, sorry. But less is more in my book, so.
This says,
Maybe
says fostering
clean.
safe, clean and secure learning environment.
We're not fostering a safe learning environment. I mean, I know you guys,
Fostering a safe learning environment.
I don't like the word clean in
neither
it.
do I don't, I think
It
it's
just
odd, it
doesn't-
pops out
yeah.
strange.
Safe and secure.
I think, yeah, I think leave it secure is in it's
Safe and secure.
but I mean, if you got a dirty school, that's not gonna really.
I know, but that's like really like
Minerals.
drilling
sorry.
down, I don't think we
Uh,
need that.
bacteria, the bad bacteria.
I mean, this
or
making
the-
it safe.
toilet paper on the
clean.
floor,
Clean.
you want to-
Safe.
It would already been safe.
I
Okay,
think,
you
I
did
think, I think it has both.
Number 3.
Fine,
Okay.
don't blame me if you got dirty schools.
It's embedded in safe, right?
Ensure responsible stewardship by maintaining transparent, balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit student achievement and experience to enhance educational outcomes. Do you have that, Erin?
Ensure responsible stewardship by maintaining a transparent, balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit student achievement and experience to enhance educational outcomes.
Wait a second. I'm thinking of another word, it's really helpful in terms of. There we go. How about, could we have another word like conservative, like? Right, because we don't wanna. About conservative spending, we don't wanna like overspend, do we wanna put that word?
I think balance speaks to being conservative. It's a balanced budget.
And I also think optimizing resources and prioritizing expecting that. That comes in. That's my perspective. Chris, would you like to weigh in?
Nah.
There was too much moving around, which one are we on now?
We're still on three.
Okay. Yeah, balanced budget.
What were we saying, Wendy, about? When you had a suggestion?
No, I was just saying, like, I was just concerned, I know balanced budget, but like, that we would have. Like.
I thought responsible in there already.
Sure, responsible.
You know.
This is in there?
Yeah, it is, sure,
Yeah.
responsible.
Right.
student, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, it's.
I'm gonna think of another word.
Well, we'll ponder, because we're gonna, it'll be written up, we'll be able to look at it again.
Yeah, but was
Maybe-
redundant, you know, you've got responsible. you've
Well, how about
got
ensure
balanced
fiscal
budget.
stewardship by maintaining responsible balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing. Ensure fiscal stewardship by maintaining transparent, responsible, balanced budget, how about that?
Ensure fiscal,
Take out responsible from there.
ensure
Stewardship.
fiscal,
Right, ensure fiscal stewardship, take out responsible. And put responsible before transparent, responsible, transparent.
by maintaining responsible, transparent, balanced budget.
By maintaining a responsible, transparent, a responsible comma, transparent comma, balanced budget,
Okay, by maintaining,
a responsible, Mary, you got that?
I'm just running out of room. Responsible, transparent, balanced budget,
Yeah, I think that's,
optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit student achievement and experience to enhance educational
yeah,
outcomes.
better.
Mary?
Ensure fiscal stewardship by maintaining a responsible, transparent, balanced budget, optimizing resources and prioritizing expenditures that directly benefit student achievement and experience to enhance educational outcomes. Great.
Build robust partnerships with students, family, and the community to increase opportunities for collaboration. Create inclusive school environment where all voices are valued, are heard and valued.
Yeah.
Mary?
I'm just not sure about the two that I have, that you'll tell
Yeah, I
me,
think
build
it's five.
robust partnerships with students, families, and the community. To increase opportunities for collaboration,
To create,
to create, right?
right,
To
to create.
create an inclusive school environment where all voices are heard and valued.
Foster open line of communication between all buildings and departments, so all staff can articulate concerns and influence decision-making to produce efficient operations and enhance accountability. Love that. Yeah, yes.
I love that one.
Thanks.
Mary, anything else? Do you have
I have lines, foster open lines of communication,
Okay.
is that what you want?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Between all buildings and departments, so all staff can articulate concerns and influence decision-making to produce efficient operations and enhanced accountability.
Great.
We did.
Well, can I make a recommendation? The mission is really tied to the goals. So I don't know about the belief statement, I haven't necessarily explained it, but I don't know that we read a belief statement and we don't really all believe in these things. But maybe the district mission we could just go over, and this slide says the mission is your purpose. The vision is like ultimately what you want to see in the district, like what is your best case scenario, all kids graduate and we have a balanced budget, and everybody's doing great, and the goals are how you fulfill your purpose and work towards the future. So I was wondering if,
We look at the vision.
I was thinking like, for me, I don't think the belief statement is necessary, I think reasonable people believe that, yeah, I don't know that we need that, the district mission doesn't even have to be very long. But it should be what our purpose is here, and like what we want to see here. What is our purpose, right? Our purpose is here to educate children and have, and we can just work on that together. And even if we think some of this is good, we could keep it or.
Okay, district vision says to create and maintain a quality parent educational environment, addressing academic, vocational and social programs, and enabling students to achieve their highest potential for growth.
The only thing is, I think it should be not social programs, wouldn't it be needs and social needs? Or you're saying programs is all encompassing of it?
Yeah, I'm just reading the sentence.
Okay.
To promote an environment that fosters respect and ethical behavior while instilling values that enable individuals to distinguish right from wrong. The family and community will share in this responsibility. Curiosity and compassion must be basic to the personal repertoire while we prepare our students to function as effective citizens in the ever-changing global community.
I think we can just build on that, right? We can just tweak it.
Yeah, and what's the beliefs, can we read the belief statements here, so we're questioning?
In some respects, I don't think we need the belief statement.
Okay.
I don't think we need that.
Like, that's just me.
I'm with you. I think this is all stuff that we do and we know.
So is there any aspect of the district mission? To create and maintain a quality educational environment, academic. Vocational. I'm not too sure what you're about social emotional programs.
Social emotional learning.
Learners, yeah, like academic, emotional and social. Right, because isn't that what we do? This is how we educate the kids on this, so, Well, I think the word safe has to be in there, right? To create and maintain a quality, caring, safe, educational environment. Oh, Lisa, I don't even think you have to rewrite this whole thing.
Okay.
They're all getting. I think we all have this, so we could tweet it. Addressing academic, emotional and social needs. How about this? Addressing academic, emotional and social needs. And then this, enabling students to achieve their highest potential for growth and to be, career and college ready.
Yes.
Because vocational is career ready, right? Well, I don't know if anybody else is okay with that or wants to do it.
We have to, in the beginning, it said quality, caring, safe, collaborative, since I would tie. Community
You're typing
engagement.
Addressing academic, emotional and social needs. of students, should we say of students? And then the enabling, oh, okay, maybe students is redundant, needs,
Social.
and enabling students to achieve their highest potential for growth and to be career and college ready.
Or
For growth
instead of
and-
career and college ready, just say life after graduation.
To be contributing society, contributing members of society after graduation.
Yeah, so not everybody's gonna go to college, not
Well,
everybody's
that's
gonna
just
have
like career
a
ready.
career, but not everybody's gonna have a career either. You get stay at home parent,
You're like
like,
that.
you're
That is
just
your
being
career.
ready.
It's like life after school.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can give honor
Or
to,
to
you know,
choose.
whatever life path
I
you
mean,
choose.
let's
Right.
sort of say for
Career and
growth
life after
and,
school, because it's not, we're not just trying to teach them to be prepared for
The
just a
implication of
function.
career, I get it,
Yeah.
it's like white collar, you know.
to be contributing responsible members of society after graduation. George,
I'm sorry, like in one sentence, I would just say to provide a
Productive citizens, Alright, so can I just make one suggestion? Can we just, I'm not too sure where we're at, I think have you been writing, Mary?
And
Can you just kind of summarize what we have?
to create and maintain a quality, caring, safe, collaborative educational environment addressing academic, emotional, and social needs and enabling students to achieve their highest potential for growth. And then contributing members of society after graduation, possibly career and college ready.
If I may, I think this is really important work. And the work that has taken place with the portrait of the graduate should really marry the mission, because that's what we want to produce, right? Young people with those attributes, so if there's a way we can resonate with that language and that outcome and engraft it in the mission, I think we'll be marrying the work.
where, do you have that language?
I have the
Yes,
7 attributes.
yes.
To be critical thinkers, innovative problem solvers, global citizens, literate across content areas, effective communicators, culturally competent, social and emotionally competent.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Can we, wait, I have a question with that, because I really love the list. Do we want to do it as like in the sentence with commas, or do we want to break those out into bullet points? Because that might be nice to see.
Well, how, can we,
I mean, I know that's like very detailed, but.
how about if you said to create? And what's the list again?
Critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Like list them like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Innovative problem
Yeah, like, for
solvers.
like, yeah, bullet point.
I like the bullet point idea, it just makes it more visually
Stand out.
friendly, and stand out.
And I think
So it's going to be to create and then build.
Do you say to create students who are, and do bullet points?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think we could take
What
out
even
some of
ended
that.
as say
Then I would
graduates,
take,
graduate as
Graduates?
colon and then bullet points.
Students and graduates, how about students and graduates, because we want them to encompass those things while we're here at the
Along the
thereafter.
way.
Right,
Okay, sure.
We want them to graduate.
students, as students and graduates, is there a different language you have with that, or? What do you think of that? So that it's continual, right, as students and graduates? We
Yes,
want
sure.
both.
Sure.
Yes, because it's ongoing and cumulative.
and I honestly, that I think, this is my opinion,
Take
after
it
you
out.
do that,
Take it out.
that's it,
Take it
everything else is done.
Oh,
I think
everything
that,
else.
Yeah,
Which is
I
what-
agree.
I'd love to put in life learners also.
Was there something like that? Lifelong learners, yeah.
I think Chris said something like that, didn't he? Yes.
Oh, how about this? Wait, how about, wait,
Kind of like.
Not
No.
those words.
well,
maybe-
Carol, how about this?
Life learners.
Enabling
important.
students to achieve their highest potential for growth and continue to be lifelong learners, or do you want it in a bullet point?
I think if you're just gonna do everything else in a bullet point, make it another bullet point.
Yeah, and.
But I feel like
Lifelong
all
learners.
those builds to that, like that's the accomplishment of those 7 bullet points. It produces a life learner. Not to say you couldn't add it, but it's like,
Well, how about after you do
The
the
space
bullet
is behind
points
it.
to produce lifelong learning?
I think it's good to emphasize it.
I think at the end, to produce lifelong lifelong learners, I like it.
Yeah, maybe we could do it after the.
Like a
book.
standalone thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Closing bullet.
So Mary, we're gonna walk in and where are we at?
I'm working on the list, and the last one would be lifelong learners.
A
So-
separate statement.
Yeah, we were saying maybe make it a separate statement. So-
What, the lifelong learners, well, I was thinking
Yes.
after the bullet points, no, like, it's like almost like the sentence, the.
Right,
bullet
that's
points.
good.
The
Oh, I
concluding
see.
sentence is.
Makes it final sentence.
So
just whenever you're ready, Mary.
Okay, so I have the list and then the final sentence
if
is
you wanna reread it back,
To be
to produce.
lifelong,
lifelong learners.
so.
And do you have active members of society, is that what you're saying, Chris? Or do you think it's too much?
Well, what do you mean
Yeah.
active members? of
I don't know, I
society?
thought.
Contributing members?
Contributing,
Contributing members of society?
Yeah.
Productive members of society?
Well, read it out, maybe we can
Let's
say.
Okay.
I'm sorry, would you mind reading out this?
To create students and graduates who are critical thinkers, innovative problem solvers, global citizens, literate across content areas, effective communicators, culturally competent, socially and emotionally competent, to produce lifelong learners and contributing members of society.
Bingo. Yeah. It's good.
and we still had the first sentence, right? We just skipped.
Or the contributing members of society, or what was the word that you?
Productive members of
Productive.
society or contributing members of society. I had
Global
one,
citizens, does that kind of cover that a little bit, or?
It just defines
It
it
touches
more.
on it, but it's not exactly
Yeah.
the same.
I was gonna ask one more bullet point, I don't know if this is getting like too many bullet points. But also to embrace diverse points of view or ideas, like, right, because we want kids to graduate and be tolerant of different people, different ideas. To embrace diverse,
And inclusive.
diverse,
Acceptance.
well. What is it to embrace diverse ideas?
I feel
And
like,
thoughts.
I guess, almost like a lifelong learner, I hope that's the natural outcome. of
I know, I guess we could break it down.
You know, like you can kind of go on forever, what
Okay,
you hope
okay,
to
got it.
get out of these 7 bullet items.
Okay, so we're not gonna add that, nobody wants to add that, we're not gonna.
So I think.
In the spirit of keeping it short, I'm
Okay,
always a
that's
fan of
fine.
keeping.
No, that's
Right,
fine.
but I think what we can do, we'll get this in transmittal tomorrow and take a look at it one more time.
Okay.
It's still tweak it.
Yes.
well-
It's a draft.
Right, well, here's another thing, so like, we did the goals and we did the mission, which I have to say, I'm pretty proud of, I hope everybody feels proud the same way, we did a really good job working together on that. To go back to the surveys though, I think that we need to decide as a board what we wanna do, I would like to see surveys go out with just the basic questions of what do you think the district's strengths are, or what we're doing well, where would you like to see improvement, any ideas, it doesn't hurt to involve the stakeholders on that.
So I have a question, Dr. Talbot, I think in some of the presentations that occurred, I think maybe, wasn't there? When some of the building principals were presented, wasn't there a conversation about sending out surveys, what do those surveys cover? Because if we send,
Culture and climate.
yeah, so I'm in support of doing surveys, but I wanna make sure that our survey will be different than what maybe a building survey is gonna be sending out. So can we look at what we would ask in our survey that could help us as we go down?
Well, those are my
So
recommendations,
is it-
that's the recommendation that
Right.
is in this slide, they're just three basic questions, cause. I know I say it a lot, like, all great ideas don't always come from everybody from the table, there's a lot of really smart people out there, and I feel strongly that like parents whose students are in the classroom will have ideas, their students will tell them, and I feel like staff being are in the schools will have really good ideas too. And whether we build on that to build this, or Dr. Talbot uses the data maybe for some ideas on how to achieve.
Can
these
I
things.
jump in, because I guess maybe at the very outset, it sounded like I was opposed to surveys, and I'm not at all, I like them, but I guess I think that depending on who you are, I think that the question of the survey determines the quality.
Right.
And I don't think a question that's pertinent to a parent will be the same type of question that's pertinent to a teacher.
No, 100% it won't
So-
be, but I think that's the point. You're getting diverse.
So we should do multiple surveys, like
Okay,
when I was
well-
preparing for tonight, I came up with like, cause I was all focused on finance and operations, like what would be like good survey questions for staff? Not thinking that, you know, this would be at all relevant to parents, so I don't know how heavy a list.
I see what you're saying, but I'm thinking if those are the three basic questions, which again were like recommended in here is. I 100% agree with you that staff are gonna have a different perspective than families, but isn't that what we want? We want.
But I would ask them
staff-
different questions, is my
But-
point.
Okay.
They would have to be different.
Sure, totally different questions.
Wendy, are you suggesting to have that survey influence these district goals or
I
use
think,
them
I don't
for
know,
future?
well, they were saying that you should get stakeholder, community, stakeholder input for this. It may, although I think we did a good job, but and if it doesn't affect this, what I think it will affect the data is maybe Dr. Talbert and how she implements
Yeah.
things and getting the feedback. Like I said, if the staff kind of say 60% comes back with one thing, Dr. Talbot's gonna be able to recognize, okay, this is an issue of something we have to address, or you know what, all staff said this one thing is great. Or, you know, we have to do this one thing, she'll be able to recognize it, or, you know, Mary, whatever, will be able to recognize it, and then I think, that's why I think the same question is important.
There could be overlap, like, you know, one overriding question is, do you feel like the district is on the right track or not? Whether you're a parent, a student, you know, staff, like, we can all answer that question, but then there are other specific questions that, you know.
But why do you think that asking, what do you think we do well, or what do we need improvement?
Should we,
Would it,
should
so
we
maybe-
teach Sharia to serve?
Okay,
So, and then we
I hear.
can.
Let me tell you what I did just for staff, okay, so
Okay.
maybe I'm too far into the weeds, but I did,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna put it out there. If I was Dr. Talbot, sorry, I'm not, this is you, but here's a survey I would put out to staff. Number one, does your supervisor understand what you do? Number two, do you have the resources to do your job effectively? Number three, do you feel comfortable approaching your supervisor with requests, comments, constructive criticism? Number four, does your supervisor take the time to explain their decision making? Number five, do you feel like the district is on the right path?
The only problem.
I don't think that, well, I think that's out of
The
purview.
only problem with that is we did do that last year, and there were a lot of teachers that were reluctant to answer honestly.
Was
it
Except
anonymous?
the ethic,
You can do that.
even then, they're reluctant that it's gonna be traced back, I mean, we've been there so many times over the years, and they're just reluctant to
So-
answer honestly. So the efficacy of the survey is always diluted.
My
Sorry.
recommendation, I think that, like, I'm sorry, Megan, go ahead.
No, you can.
I think Dr. Talbot, maybe we're all in agreement that a survey is something that would be good. Is that
Yes,
really
yes.
need for- So now I think we could leave it to Dr. Talbot to say, to give to her.
Not yet, because I don't understand the outcome. So
Right.
every survey has to have a determined outcome.
That,
And I'm not sure
I agree.
what outcome the board is trying to achieve. Because we have 5 goals,
right,
and so if we're looking to get feedback on our goals, that survey would need to encompass the 5
gotcha.
areas.
True.
So,
Like, well, I know, I say this understanding it's like a ton of work, you know, so I'm not saying this is what we do, but just to follow the natural flow. So you do, as an example, this survey that I just said for staff in the
Mhm.
fall, and then as a diagnostic survey, like we do for iReady. And then again in the spring as a follow-up, be like,
Mhm.
that's how you measure progress. Did we progress or did we not? And if we didn't, then. Okay, it at least shows us where we're not progressing, but. Maybe not every goal warrants a survey, but maybe 3 out of the 5 do.
So maybe create some type of survey under, like, I'll just say foster open lines of communication, maybe. Create like 3 questions underneath that, is that what you're referring to, Caroline? I'm just saying hypothetically, is that what you're saying? And then, like, let's say, for example, let's say these goals were established on July 1st. So we then on September 1st, we sent out a survey to whoever, like whether it was family members, whether it was staff, where it was gonna be, and just say, we have 3 questions, could you answer them based on right now?
Mm.
Then maybe do the same survey again. maybe in February hypothetically, ask them the same sort of questions. Here we are 6 months into school. What is your feedback on this? I'm just saying hypothetically, is that what you're referring to? I'm just trying to,
Well, yes, in the sense that what's the point in coming up with goals unless we're gonna try to track progress?
Yours,
And how
yours
do
goes
we
to
do that?
5, right? Yours goes to.
Mine goes to 5. It's very specific. You know, this is not something that would be sent to parents, you know, maybe the final question would, but.
but I think also
But
too,
how do we measure these 5, like our progress or lack thereof in these 5 goals is my question, and I think that we're. Like, a school district is run by people, you know, so how do you measure the progress of people? You talk to them, you communicate with them, and. An anonymous survey, if it can be anonymous, I don't do it every year at my, workplace, I only do it like once every 5 years, but when I do, it's really effective, so,
but I think I like what you're saying, I really do. I think that's where it goes back to Dr. Talbert to work with us, because it's not up to us to establish the,
the mechanics of it, like.
right, but I understand what Dr. Talbot was saying, I think she hears us about a survey, but she's trying to figure out exactly.
Well, are we trying to ascertain baseline data for each goal to kind of get an idea
I
of
think
where
so.
staff and or parents or students may be thinking, where their thinking lies with our goals?
Yes.
That may be some.
I think that that's a good idea.
Speculated, right?
But the only thing is like, I'm a little conflicted about this, because I do get what Caroline's saying, to have a baseline for this, how do you know if it's working, how would the board know it's working, right? But at the same time, it is kind of, that's what we have the superintendent for, right, so the superintendent, maybe the board tasked the superintendent to come up with questions for the survey.
And that's what she's saying.
And then, but then the board, but then Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought that you've said this before, but then the board doesn't always get the results. I think it's
I have not
precipitated, no,
survey.
I just said, I said before you, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yes,
So this was prior.
No, I did say that, no,
Yeah.
it's not, it's not, but I think Carol, you had said, if I heard you correctly at board meetings before, where surveys were sent, the board didn't get the results, so if the board is
Yes.
doing goals, the board needs the information.
Yes,
So now.
and that was an issue because it was requested several times and.
So going back to Dr. Talbot, what we're asking
It's for each goal.
is for, if we can do a baseline survey for each of the goals, even if it's just like
That's a
one or
great
two
idea.
questions.
I mean, 3 questions.
Three
per goal.
questions a good, perfect. And will you share the questions with us so that we know,
We're not
so,
sure.
but,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm,
A draft survey.
a draft.
Yeah, no,
draft
she's got
survey.
Draft survey.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
So do we vote on these on Tuesday, or this is it, this is?
Well, we wait for a regular meeting to do this, I feel like a regular meeting.
but, so. Please correct me, I thought my understanding was that we were gonna get the draft of what we just discussed with the district goals. And the mission statement, I think we all agree, but just look at it one more time, and then. At our next board meeting, we can say that we met, this is what we came up with, and these are our.
So maybe on the 12th on the agenda, we could just be a review of this and then adopt it on the 20th.
I said the 12th, but the 12th is an audit committee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's or-
So we, so.
I think it's much more
It's
just
fine.
everything, I mean, much we can be this, unless somebody has some epiphany.
Yeah, I don't think, but at least that way everyone's comfortable with it.
Yeah, this way we could adopt it and
Okay.
move forward, it's a big accomplishment.
So what day are we?
The 20, the regular board meeting.
Alright,
So
And
then,
how about the survey? Is that?
I'll bet you go out.
It all depends on how long it'll take them to create.
we're in the middle of 2 other surveys right now, so we just need to kind of go back and powwow a little
Okay.
bit and.
And just let us know.
Yeah, we'll, yeah. We'll put it together.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting.
But wait, are we supposed to be doing a smart objective?
No. Right, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at, no, we're not, actually, I'm not doing any community input.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a motion to adjourn the meeting at
Motion.
7:58.
Second.
William Connections first. Charles, you have a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. You can ask what else, there was no.
Can I ask a question?
You want to ask what?
I was concerned about your question, your statement regarding the What's the word I'm looking